The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, SAN, has said the Muhammad Buhari-led administration will comply with the ruling of the Supreme Court if it rules in favor of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Can you imagine? Why is it that it could not comply with the ruling of the appeal court, even after the appeal court said 2 times that this man should be released? So what do you want to go and do? You want to go and finish your work with the Supreme Court, Abi? Is that what you are telling us? So, but with this one, you don't want to comply. But now you are telling us that you are going to comply with the ruling of the Supreme Court. Nigeria News report that Nigeria's chief law officer, however, stated that the federal government will exploit all options available to it within the context of the law in the case of the IPOB leader. But he didn't agree for the first one. When the cases are exhausted, when within the context of the rule of law and the decisions and conclusions are in his favor, the government will comply. But whatever option is open and available to the government will exploit it within the context of the rule of law, within the context of the rights available at its disposal, Malami told Vanguard. Speaking further, Malami stated that 4 things must be looked at before the government can release the pro-Biafra activists. Kai, hey, hey. According to the Attorney General, the 4 things that must be considered are the rule of law, the public and national interest, the security situation, and international diplomacy. AGF Malami noted that the single case that has been determined is not the only pending case against Nnamdi Kanu, as there are other multiple cases associated with treason. He said to release or not to release Nnamdi Kanu is a function of the law and the rule of law for that matter. In arriving at a decision whether to release or not to release, you have to look at the rule of law. 2, you have to look at the public and the national interest. 3, you look at the security situation. And 4, you look at international diplomacy. Let me first talk about the rule of law. This is someone that has been granted bail on account of charges that have been preferred against him at the court. To the international community, a case of fugitive is established against the background of bail jumping. 2, arising from national security, this is someone that is charged with treason, incitement, and the public destruction of civil authority, a kind of murder and assassination of others on account of his incitement. That boils down to issues that border us on issues of national security and criminality. So now the yes, so the there okay. 3, on account of international diplomacy, this is someone that has turned against his person using the international community or a foreign country to launch an attack against a nation, against the nation, for example, for that matter. So all this naturally come into play to determine what you do. So if you have equally gone through judicial processes, multiple cases, a case of treason, a case of homicide, a case of jumping bail, among others. The fact that you have indeed succeeded in one case as opposed to multiple others that are pending goes to establish the fact that that case cannot be the only basis and criteria for determining whether you are entitled to be released or not. So the simple question is whether what the federal government has done by the way of not releasing Nnamdi Kanu is justified within the context of the rule of law. And my answer is yes, it is justified. This is because the single case that has been determined is not the only pending case against Nnamdi Kanu, as 3 other multiple cases associated with treason. There exist multiple appeals that are pending and yet to be determined, and then again they are international public interest dimensions, and the essence of the government is the sustenance of the public and not an individual interest. It's only in Nnamdi Kanu's case that you guys are taking to the court. We have a lot of them that you have done nothing about them. God will judge all of you. God will judge all of you. And I pray, as God liveth, his spirit liveth, he will still win you in that Supreme Court, because what we are seeing is injustice and wickedness. Well, since the lives of the Igbo people he has killed does not matter. Let him be released so that he can continue to kill his people and reduce their population. The number of people, let's even look at it. The number of people, let's assume that what this one, because his name is Bala Muhammad, that they should release him, he should go and deal with his people. The number of people that their lives have been taken in the southeast, can you compare it with what is happening in the north? And who is being held in the north? Who is being held in court in the north, that they have been going to court every now and then, just like the way they've been doing to Nnamdi Kanu's case? Who? May thunder strike you. This one say 200 times. I'm not even supporting crime, but I would like to ask, how many Igbo people did Nnamdi Kanu kill? All the terrorist groups in the north killing, abducting, raping, and many more atrocities. What has the government done? Has any of them been convicted? No. Even the ones arrested and put in prisons, government released them. And that is just the only thing we are talking about. You don't even hold any superior arguments other than the rule of law. Whatever options you are rolling out does not and cannot be above the law. At the end of your tenure, you will answer for misinterpretation of the law. Go and ask Andoka. For my opinion, they are killing Igbo the most. Let him remain there so that innocent Igbo people will have freedom. Nigeria give you more 4 months. Fulani will be history. Instead of me to vote for Atiku, I will vote for our enemy, Emilokon Baba. But I believe in Peter Obi. Thank God we have somebody like Wiki. You will not even be there anymore forever at all. How many Fulani terrorists have you sued for terrorism in Nigeria? How many? Or detained without even being released unconditionally? Go and sit down, Malami. How did Nigeria pick you as AGF? Now Buhari pick am o. Who pick am? Na who pick am? No be Nigeria pick am. Na Buhari pick am. And we can see the results of those he has been working with. Why can't you use the same step to Boko Haram bandits command? The security situation and the effect on the public rights now must be put into consideration, because all his full soldiers are still terrorizing the whole region, as Kanu ordered them because he formed the ESN terrorist group. Can you see where is this one coming from? Ethnic agenda on course. But one thing is sure, tomorrow is another time. What of the hundreds of Boko Harams you have released? God will judge you. Well, one day Malami will be SAGF. From my personal understanding, Malami is power drunk. If this Malami is sincere, why were the 3 judges that discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu transferred, and immediately the government came back in the same court for whatever? Anyway, this is the consequence of one Nigeria, where an illiterate can hold a sensitive position as Attorney General of a country. So guys, let's have your take on this, because it's really annoying.